Hello?
Dear Nintendo, hey there, how's life? First of all, thank you for finally giving us some info about the new Nintendo Switch. We really appreciate it. I mean, we got a lot of videos out of that one. And give our regards to Game Freak for releasing yet another fantastic Pokemon game.
Terrible, this is awful. This is the worst game that's ever been made.
Speaking of Pokemon games, Nintendo, have you ever noticed that all Pokemon games since Diamond and Pearl, they have a little thing called voice chat? You know, voice chat, you ever heard of that? Voice chat? Nintendo? Hello? Voice chat in games is really nothing new, actually. If you go way back to the year 2000, even before the PS2 or the original Xbox, there was Sega and the Dreamcast. In 2000, Sega released SegaNet, which included, among other things, voice chat capabilities. Popular games such as Alien Front Online used voice chat extensively, but the Dreamcast would be short-lived, and Sega's SegaNet service ended a mere 11 months later. But the seeds had been sown for voice chat on game consoles. The same year SegaNet died, 2001, Sony released a network adapter for the PS2. Among other features, it allowed full voice chat via a microphone, and became very important to the rise in popularity of online multiplayer, especially with first-person shooters. In 2002, Xbox released Xbox Live, which also included voice chat, and the rest is pretty much history. Even on the DS, Nintendo had games with voice chat in some capacity or another. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Metroid Prime Hunters, Advanced Wars, Puzzle Planet League, Tony Hawk, y'all remember that little gem? And even Warhammer. Along with these DS games, the Wii would get the Wii Speak in 2008. Which basically amounted to a chat room where Mii's would just kind of hang out and talk together. And the Wii U would also have a similar FaceTime-style function, but for gaming, it didn't really go anywhere. Let's take a look at the solid, amazing lineup of games that supported voice chat on the Wii. Let's see. You got Animal Crossing. You got NHL. You got Uno. You got Wheel of Fortune. I mean, who's not jumping to play some Wheel of Fortune, guys? Am I right? Hello, anybody? But hey, Nintendo was just getting into online. You know, they were a little behind the curve, but surely with the Wii U and 3DS, with high-speed Wi-Fi being the norm in pretty much everyone's household, surely Nintendo was ready to release the best online voice chat you've ever heard in your life, right, guys? Right? So, on the 3DS, utilizing the newest mobile technology, we got Pokemon games, and we got, that's it, actually. Well, okay, 3DS is a handheld. Wi-Fi on handhelds can be spotty, sometimes, so let's look at the Wii U. Nintendo said they were getting into esports and going after, the hardcore gamers again, right? And third parties already brought the fire. You got Call of Duty, you got Assassin's Creed, they had voice chat. With the Wii U, Nintendo gave us some of the greatest multiplayer and esports titles in years. I mean, you had Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Splatoon. I mean, surely they would have developed a foolproof, bulletproof, whatever-proof online chat function, right? Okay, let's take Smash Brothers. 8 players at once, everyone's chatting and they're yelling at each other and everyone's, sleeping with everyone else's mom. I mean, it's just good old-fashioned fun. You'd think so, right? Not a chance. In Smash Brothers, arguably Nintendo's most anticipated title next to Zelda, you can only chat in the pre-game lobby. And only with your friends. The people that you can just Skype anyway, or the people who are probably sitting there on the couch next to you. Yeah, you can only chat with them, but only before the match, because when else would you want to chat with them, right? Okay, but what about Mario Kart 8? I mean, they totally got it right with that one. How cool is it that your voice gets louder the closer you are, so as you approach someone, you can tell them, how slow they're going, or how their lack of an adequate father figure growing up is the reason why they have low self-esteem. I mean, kid stuff. What's that? You can only chat in pre-game lobbies? And only in private matches? You can't even chat during the match? Something that Halo 2 did 12 years ago? Y'all remember that? I think you see the pattern, but it actually gets worse. Splatoon, the breakout hit on the Wii U, the game that showed us how amazing a new Nintendo first-party IP meant for the esports crowd can be. The graphics, the sound, the white-knuckle gameplay, it had everything. This squad-based, team-based, third-person jizzfest, which requires planning, teamwork, strategy. I mean, surely it must have a great voice infrastructure, right? What's that? There's no voice chat at all in a team-based third-person shooter? I mean, come on, Nintendo, what are you doing? Now, to be fair, Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers are mainly, single affairs. I mean, even when you're playing online, you're still just fending for yourself. So I can kind of see how Nintendo might not think voice chat is so important. But Splatoon? Really, Nintendo? Come on. I mean, can you imagine playing Halo, Dota, StarCraft, or literally any other online game without at least the possibility of voice chat? I mean, come on, Metroid Prime Hunters, one of the first DS games, had voice chat. Even games that absolutely need voice chat don't even have it. A recent filler game that came out on the 3DS, The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, for example. In this game, you're tasked with taking one or two other people through a series of dungeons that require you to work together to solve puzzles, open doors, fight bosses and all that. Now, you would think a game where the entire premise is to work together. I mean, the title itself, Triforce Heroes, 3 of them. You'd think you would have basic voice chat, but you would be wrong. Instead, you're stuck with generic preset text messages. Oh, what's that? You don't even get text? You get Link over here playing some kind of freaking Michael J. Fox charades? I mean, come on, Nintendo, you trying to kill me here? Okay, Nintendo doesn't want to put voice chat or too deep of online functionality in its games, but surely they must have a good reason, right? Let's see what Triforce Heroes director Hiromasa Shikata says about this. To mitigate the issues of playing online with people you don't know, and ending up having a situation where you're just giving instructions, we came up with the idea of communication icons that you see on the touchscreen. Of course, the people who are trying to understand what is being communicated to them, for these folks, it's also like a quiz show or a game. I think the level of that sense of accomplishment, the sense of achievement, is pretty outstanding and is actually a little bit unexpected. So basically what he's saying is I don't want to send my kid to school because I don't want the teacher to teach them math. I want them to learn it on their own. What about Splatoon? Splatoon producer Hisashi Nogami says this: "We want everyone to play this game from the same point so that all players, those who haven't played shooters before as well as those who have, can enjoy the game. We designed the game so that it's still possible to play strategically while also giving due consideration so that there is no extreme advantage one way or the other." I kind of feel like this guy hasn't actually played an online game before ever, because the fact that you have a level system and a rank system completely mitigates everything this guy just said. Good players end up playing with good players. New players end up playing with new players. It's been done since literally forever, man. I mean, come on. Nintendo has always been way behind when it comes to anything online. Third parties have had online multiplayer on Nintendo systems, but rather than having a core infrastructure built into the firmware, Nintendo has always kind of had like a hands-off type of thing. The most famous case, of course, is the account system. Accounts have been around, at least as they are now, since Xbox Live back in 2002. Nintendo has gone through 2 console cycles, 2 different consoles, without any sort of answer to PSN or Xbox Live. Only in the last year or so they started rolling out My Nintendo on the 3DS and Wii U, but so far, it really doesn't do much. We've all had to buy Super Mario Bros. 5 different times. We've all had to do that weird software transfer that has like a 50% chance of just like blowing up your whole system, like, okay, goodbye. And we still can't even just talk to someone that we're not already Eskimo brothers with. So the Nintendo Switch has a lot to prove. A lot of people are focusing on the hardware specs, how much RAM and how powerful GPU and all that, and that's certainly important. But it can only go so far if there isn't a good account system and support system, as well as online functionality. You see, an account system is not just for the sake of making it easy, but it's also a way of keeping us in Nintendo's ecosystem. One of the reasons why I stick with PlayStation, for example, is because my games are there, my trophies are there, my friend list is there, and even moving from PS3 to PS4, you get to keep a lot of it. It's the same for why people stick with iPhone or Android. I mean, we've all bought tons of games and apps, we have our photos and music, everything's in the cloud, and to give that all up, it just isn't worth it. So far, there hasn't really been much incentive to stick with Nintendo consoles except for the exclusive games. There's no trophies, there's no account, there's really nothing keeping you here except, one game every like 6 months, if you're lucky. So Nintendo really has a lot to prove with the Switch. Things like My Nintendo, however, do seem to show Nintendo moving in a better direction. But the fact that we would all be so ecstatic if Nintendo gave us even just basic account and online infrastructure kind of highlights the whole point here. Nintendo is just too far behind everyone else. Can they catch up? Of course they can, but if the Switch does not launch with at least like a basic array of online functions, then Nintendo Switch more like a Nintendo Ditch, am I right? Special announcement. For our 40,000 subscriber special, we will be live streaming the Game Awards on December 1st. Breath of the Wild has been confirmed to be shown. and we anticipate that we will get some kind of release date, so you don't want to miss this special stream. We'll see you all there. Thank you all so very much for watching this video on the Commonwealth Realm. My name is Alex Myers. Go on over to my channel and subscribe. Link is down below. Above all else, have a great day, and we'll see you all back here on the Commonwealth Realm.